a little bit for the last one. You know, if you had to have somebody coming to you saying, we need to do this, where do I start? What would you say is the best way, or things that they should consider as they start to embrace a more data-driven approach, right? And I think we'll go, as I can see you, we'll start with you, Don, then to John, then to Kenneth.
Yeah, I mean, I think you do need to create a plan on the data, right? In terms of, as Kenneth mentioned, right? It doesn't need to be daily refreshed. The expectations aren't there, but you do need to build the right either integration or crawl, walk, run strategy on how you bring that in, right? Because for us, again, there were some integration points. We did do some things where we still are feeding in some spreadsheets, and you just have to be able to create the right plan to support your business, to hit those elements, and then keep hyper focused on your goals as an organization, right? Back to what do you want your channel to be focused on? That's extremely important.
Right, thank you, Don. John?
Yeah, spot on, Don. And you know, I'd say there's a lot of tools out there that vendors and manufacturers can use for partners. Having PRM, having Kenneth talked about learning, training, LMS systems. These are all great, but I consider a lot of those tools to be what I would sort of call reactive. So you can put a lot of marketing collateral in your PRM, and it's great, and partners may or may not choose to go there and look at it. Moving to a data-driven approach using partner dashboards takes you to a proactive channel management situation, right? And what that means essentially is you're going to start driving your resources, your material, the content in your material specifically towards what partners are looking for and what partners want to see, what partners want to hear from their PAMs or their CAMs. So it's really that big jump to go from reactive to proactive. But again, I'm going to bash on this. Keep it simple. You know, Don and Kenneth both talked about you can just ramp this gradually, step by step. There's no need to, you know, do a Usain Bolt from day one. That is so critical here. If you're going to just throw a bunch of things out there and tell partners this is all available, nothing will stick, right? So keep it simple and go by the data. I can tell you for 25 years that data has never been wrong about any partner I've worked with.
Bold statement. That's great. Thanks, John. Right, Kenneth, do you want to close it up?
Yeah, very little to add to that, other than I would just the only point I would say, Margaret, is we've done this many times. It's always been successful, and people love it once they do it. So I would just say to people, don't be afraid. It's not as daunting as you think. Just do it, and as I said earlier, just start with maybe the most important 3 or 4 KPIs, and you can always add to that, because remember, that's a hell of a lot better experience for your partners than you have today on your spreadsheets. Nobody can work on spreadsheets ultimately.
Yeah.
Could you share your thoughts in terms of what kind of metrics you see as essential to measuring success with your partners? And then, of course, the second part to that question would be, do you see those metrics having to be tailored significantly to different types of partners?
Yeah, Margaret, it's